Good morning. Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Friday, October the 4th. We are finally on a Friday. It's been a long week, but it's not over yet. Not yet. Hope you had a good night. Kim says, good morning. Just finished breakfast. Sorry I fell asleep. Sleep is good. Don't even worry about that. It's kind of designed that way with the ambiance. It's okay. Hope today goes better therapy-wise. Me too. Me too. It sucks to do it, but it's kind of a necessary thing to do. So you got this. You got it. We are here to look at some more books that have been published this week. Mostly it's going to be cozy mysteries because there are always a lot of them. Good morning, Mary. TGIF indeed. And Mary's got her show this weekend. Does it start today or does it officially start tomorrow? You're going to do good at that. This can be awesome. People are getting closer to Christmas. And really have to emphasize homemade is way better. Plus, you can also say that um, potentially Christmas gifts will be difficult to obtain the closer we get to Christmas with the dock strikes going on. So push that also. Kim says, hey, Mary. How are you doing this morning, Kim? Hey, Elena. Today is Friday. Woot, woot, indeed. How you doing? Quick announcements. I don't have sprints tonight. I don't do them on Friday night. We will have them tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern, and those will go for 5 hours. I do them 3 times a week, every Tuesday and Thursday evening, and the Saturday afternoons. Hope we get the TVs working today. That's always helpful. At least you're a reader. Goodness, I don't understand how people who don't read get by in a day. All righty, let's hop in. I wanted to start with first a couple nonfiction that were released this week that looked interesting to me. This first one is a biography of Henry V. I have always liked Henry V from seeing Kenneth Branagh's movie way back when. The Astonishing Triumph of England's Greatest Warrior King by Dan Jones. Henry V reigned over England for only 9 years and 4 months and died at the age of just 35. But he looms over the landscape of the late Middle Ages and beyond. The victor of Agincourt, he is remembered as the acme of kingship, a model to be closely imitated by his successors. William Shakespeare deployed Henry V as a study in youthful folly redirected to sober statesmanship. For one modern medievalist, Henry was, quite simply, the greatest man who ever ruled England. For Dan Jones, Henry V is one of the most intriguing characters in all medieval history, but one of the hardest to pin down. He was a hardened, sometimes brutal warrior, yet he was also creative and artistic with a bookish temperament. He was a leader who made many mistakes, who misjudged his friends and family, but he also seemed to triumph when it mattered. As king, he saved a shattered country from economic ruin, put down rebellions, and secured England's borders. In foreign diplomacy, he made England a serious player once more. Yet, through his conquest in northern France, he sowed the seeds for 3 generations of calamity at home in the form of the War of the Roses. I don't think you can put that on him. Henry V is a historical titan whose legacy has become a complicated one. To understand the man behind the legend, Jones first examines Henry's years of apprenticeship when he saw the downfall of one king and the turbulent reign of another. Upon his accession in 1413, he had already been politically and militarily active for years, and his extraordinary achievements as king would come shortly after, earning him an unparalleled historical reputation. I thought that was interesting. This other one was a fun take on a nonfiction type subject. How to Kill an Asteroid, The Real Science of Planetary Defense by Robin George Andrews. There are approximately 25,000 city-killer asteroids in near-Earth orbit, and most are yet to be found. Small enough to evade detection, they are capable of large-scale destruction and represent our greatest cosmic threat. But in September 2022, against all odds, NASA's Double Asteroid Redirection Test, DART, mission deliberately crashed a spacecraft into a carefully selected city-killer, altering this asteroid's orbit and proving that we stand a chance against them. In this book, award-winning science journalist Robin George Andrews, who was at DART Mission Control when it happened, reveals the development of the technology that made it possible, from spotting elusive asteroids and comets to figuring out their geologic defenses and orchestrating a deflection campaign. In a propulsive narrative that reads like a sci-fi thriller, Andrews tells the story of the planetary defense movement and introduces the international team of scientists and engineers now working to protect Earth. So I thought that was interesting. Back to cozy mysteries. We catch up here. Kim doing okay? Slept pretty good last night. Oh, good. I can watch TV on my tablet, but not the same. True. Mary, you're a good PR person. Glad that the dock strike was averted for the time being. That is helpful, to say the least. For all of us, they will resume talks scheduled for January 5th, if nothing resolved. Glad to hear it, Kim. Any ideas how long you'll be in the hospital? Good question. Hi, Storm. Well, I hear it's probably soon. I do know they are coordinating with case manager for my insurance. Okay. Hi, Ms. Blogger. Good morning. Hey, Storm. Hey, Ms. Blogger. Insurance. It seems to make the world go round these days, especially in the medical world. They say they can and can't, what cannot be done. Good luck, indeed. They have gone beyond their scope. They are on board with home health. Okay. Oh, indeed. All right. So on Monday, we ended at the Abigail Keem book. Cozy Mysteries continued. Peril on the Indian Pacific by C.A. Larmer. 7th in the Murder Mystery Book Club. When bride-to-be Alicia Finley sees a body drop off the Indian Pacific in the dead of night, even her beloved book club think her mind is up to its usual tricks. After all, they've brought along not one, but 8 iconic train mysteries to read while on an iconic train. 8! These are good people! In this case, a real-life locomotive that crosses Australia's wide brown girth. Surely Alicia is mixing fact and fiction, or perhaps they can blame it on all that celebratory champagne. Soon after, a first-class passenger is reported missing, and the book club quickly sober up. The family of wheat baron Clay Dartmoor insists he got off willingly at a remote mining town, but Alicia's convinced Clay was pushed long before then, and his browbeaten family aren't the only suspects. With a cast of colorful passengers and crew to choose from, the amateur sleuths have just 2 days to work out who done it before they reach Perth and professionals jump aboard. Murder in the House, a Dora and Rex mystery by Lynn Morrison, 7th in this series as well. Storm says, hi, Kim back. A death in the House of Lords has all eyes on foreign shores, but what if the killer lies closer to home? London, 1924. Westminster is in an uproar when a promising young clerk is found dead at his desk, killed by a powerful poison sent by post. Worse yet, the letter was addressed to his boss, the leader of the House of Lords. Dora and Rex, with the help of Clark and Prudence, must determine who sent the killer letter and why. Between political parties jostling for power and enemies plotting overseas, there is no shortage of suspects. Can the bright young foursome find the killer before he strikes again? End of that problem. Kathy Ace has a new one. 14th in the Kate Morgan series, The Corpse with the Pearly Smile. We just can't get away from the dentist. Coffee. When Welsh-Canadian criminal psychologist Kate Morgan literally bumps into a body floating in a picturesque lagoon on the paradise island of Tahiti, she and her retired cop husband, Bud Anderson, find themselves engulfed by the tragedy. Before long, our investigative duo realizes that not everything is as perfect as it appears at the luxury beach resort where they've been hosted as test guests. Diving beneath the surface of the seemingly placid lives of the people Kate believes she has come to know, it becomes clear that many dark secrets have been lurking hidden in the depths, and she finds herself awash with doubts about her abilities and suspects. When another calamity befalls their group, Kate and Bud know they must act fast because it's time to sink or swim. Tea? Coffee? Murder! A recipe for murder. By Ellen Barksdale, ninth in series. A female camper has been found dead in Pelham Woods near Earlsraven. The cause of death? A stew of deadly poisonous mushrooms cooked on her gas stove. But the victim turns out to be Dutch celebrity chef Peachy Koopmans, who would never have made such a mistake. What's more, these mushrooms don't grow in the region. Natalie Louise and Constable Strutner investigate, but all the suspects serve up impeccable alibis. So, who is to blame for this recipe for murder? Then it goes and talks about the series. It's a pretty kind of cover. Emily Fluke, third in Bewitcher's Beach Paranormal series. Apparitions, aerobics, and arson. In a town I love for its warmth and charm, the only thing burning hotter than the holiday lights is a series of ruthless arson attacks. When my beloved video rental shop becomes the latest target, I find myself caught in a dangerous game with a shadowy arsonist who seems determined to destroy the very heart of my home. Right off, you know this is fantasy, because who has video rental shops? As the townspeople flee in fear, including the guy I'm dating, I'm faced with a choice: leave behind the place I've come to love or stay and fight to protect it. To preserve the Christmas spirit and save our home, I decide to take matters into my own hands. But when my plan to draw out the culprit backfires, and another man I can't stop thinking about becomes trapped in a blazing inferno, I must race against time to rescue him and put an end to the arsonist's fiery rampage. Stop talking about it and go rescue him. I ask you. Lights, camera, murder. I think we have an abundance of exclamation points today. Second in the Ravenwood Witches Cozy Mysteries by Holly Willowbrook. The picturesque village of Greenvale lies between the Northern California coast and the majestic redwoods. It's a romantic tourist destination renowned for its quaint shops, perfectly preserved Victorian mansions, and farm-to-table restaurants that are probably astronomical. For decades, the rocky shoreline, daily fog, and historic oh, there's so many misspellings here, have provided a moody backdrop for filmmakers. Each year, movie fans descend on the town during Fang Fest, a week-long celebration of things that go bump in the night. On the 45th anniversary of the cult classic Vampires in the Fog, Greenvale is overrun with cosplayers with plastic fangs and rubber stakes. They've come for a chance to see their favorite B-movie stars and horror podcasters and take selfies where iconic scenes were filmed. The Ravenwood Witches, Fortuna and her great-aunt Celestia, are attending the opening night festivities when a polarizing celebrity drops dead on stage. The shocking event quickly turns into a murder investigation, and the Ravenwoods join forces with an offbeat crew of locals to unravel the mystery before Greenvale's spooky celebration turns into a real-life horror show. End of that row. Kitty Kildare has a new one. Fifth in the Veronica Vale investigations, Death at the Harbor Arms. Veronica, Benji, and friends are off to the seaside for a restorative holiday and to inspect a new business opportunity. Veronica is thrilled her family and Jacob have joined her. It's the perfect tonic after a hectic few months. But when the body of a young journalist is fished from the sea late one night, trouble brews. Was it an accident, or did someone push her to hide a devilish secret? Veronica and her whip-smart dog Benji are about to find out. That's if Veronica can keep her family in check, put a smile on Jacob's face, and figure out if Ruby's holiday fling is anything to worry about. Secrets Before Supper by T.E. Scott, 10th in the Wronged Women's Cooperative. One man's secret is another man's motive for murder. The big science fiction convention has come to Glasgow, and Mary Plunkett is living her best life. Among the colorful costumes, overpaid actors, and nerdy merchandise, the killer is hiding. Being the first to discover the body, Mary is determined that her friends at the Wronged Women's Cooperative will solve the crime before the local police force. Meanwhile, in Invergriff, a simple search for a missing father leads to a complex case where family secrets bubble up to the surface. With murders and complex personal issues to solve, life is never dull for the indomitable ladies of the WWC. Hunting at Hawthorne Hall by Lynn M. Stout, second in the Haunted Histories. With Gabby on her shoulder and her team in tow, Jackie sets out to document the supernatural for her paranormal TV series. But they soon discover more than dusty props and old playbills when a bitter rivalry from the past resurfaces and a ghostly duo with unfinished business appears. With a new producer on board and an unknown assailant threatening their safety, will they bring peace to the restless spirits of Hawthorne Hall, or will they find themselves the punchline of the vaudevillain villain's last joke? Have Cats Will Crime Solve by Maggie Pill, third in the Cats and Crime series. Laura Lee Riley has 8 cats, a ward named Jessie, and now an interesting, attractive new friend named Nate. While she enjoys Nate's company, Jess is suspicious. Why is the man staying in neighbor Art Fusili's home? Why does he disappear at times? And why are scary looking men cruising the neighborhood asking about him? While Laura Lee wants to help Nate, Jess would like him to go back to wherever he came from. A couple murders and several visits from police make things tense between Jess and Laura Lee, but in the end, it all comes down to keeping Laura Lee from becoming a pawn in a deadly game that even threatens her cats. End of that row. So there are Joanne Fluke as an author. That's a good question. It says definitely a Joanne Fluke. Maybe it's a daughter. Maybe it's in the family business. Apple Dumpling Murder by Trixie Silvertail. Okay. Second in the Christmas Catastrophe Mysteries. Santa's daughter is happily settling into her life as a baker. Could a fresh murder burn her biscuits? That burned my biscuits. Cindy Claus loves exploring the human world and baking amazing treats. She should be bubbling over when her aging landlord takes her under his wing and promises to leave her the bakery in his will. However, before she can stir up a celebration, her patron collapses dead like a bad souffle. With suspicion instantly falling on the budding baker, Cindy must rely on her fragile new friendships and her father's trusted Arctic fox. She'll have to sidestep local law enforcement as she gathers crumbs, and one wrong move could crush her dreams. Can Candy find the proof she needs, or will this villain punch down her last hope? Here's a fall looking cover. I like the green. Three Drops of Poison by Josephine Bien- Bientema, third in the Autumn Heights series. Vi has been planning the autumn frolic for months, down to the last detail with the help of the party committee. It's one of Autumn Heights' biggest fundraisers, and Vi is determined to get it right. Yet, when the big event is happening, gossip Tammy Fidley is found next to an overturned punch bowl. She didn't expire from the heat, but rather may have been poisoned, according to witnesses. It doesn't help that one of Vi's employers, Mrs. Casings, was seen arguing with Tammy before the big event, and later she was caught spiking the punch bowl. With a teenage daughter named Kat, a cat named Boo, and a Grim following her around, Vine needs to figure out the truth about Tammy and Mrs. Casings. Her employment at Casings Insurance might just depend on it. Wonky Wonderland, third in the Museum of Magical Artifacts by A. Albright. Annie's in Wonderland. Annie and Lane are going on a treasure hunt, and she's not happy about it. She's been told that this job is the only way she can help Dora, her mysterious familiar, so she reluctantly agrees. When she finds out where they're going, though, she's terrified. Lane is taking her to a warped version of Wonderland, a prison world ruled by an evil vampire queen. But just as they're due to go to this frightening realm, things go a little awry, and Annie winds up taking some unexpected companions along for the ride. Vanilla Vendetta by Fiona Grace. We're running out of time, so we're just going to look at covers here. Death in a Pulpit by Mike Nevin. Copycat Death at, what is it, Meringues by Carol Marples. Pralines and Creamed by Elizabeth Maria Naranjo. And Ma Tut's Kitchen Disaster by Lynn Perry. And then going over here, Ink and Intrigue at Ivy Tree Inn by Ellen Butler, if you're looking for books that start with I. Christmas Wishes by J.A. Whiting and Nell McCarthy, a Hope Herring mystery. Christmas Wishes is the title. A.B. Ralph, Death in Douglas Glade, a Miverton mystery, book number 3. Comedy Can Be Deadly, a Bucket List mystery by Ryan Rivers, book number 3. A Shot of Scandal by Simone Steer, first in Cafe Crimes. We already did Christmas Wishes. A Shiver on the River by M.J. Mack, 5th in the Kennedy Reeves series. Crimecaster Cold Case by Kathleen Guire, 2nd in the Cozy Corner Mysteries. Maine Moose and a Killer on the Loose, number 4 in Lily and Cassie Mysteries by Nellie H. Steele. I think that's a very pretty cover. Diana Zarissa has a new one in Aunt Bessie Cold Cases. This is book number 14, The Newton File. And tomorrow, 2 of them, Moo River by Molly Cox Bryan, a Buttermilk Creek mystery novella. That's a cow on the cover. I love it. Nick Saint has one called Perfect Bully. Mysteries of Max number 92. Okay, we got to see how many pages are in that because that's kind of crazy. 241 pages. Wow. Good for Nick. That's all Nick does. He writes cozy mysteries and knows things. All right. We kind of sort of made it through. Yes, I do like that green cover. I came and said that's the author of the Hannah Swenson. And that one's quite long as well. Hope you get some good news today, Kim, regarding insurance and home health care, and hope your therapy goes well. Thanks so much. Another week of YouTube episodes under my belt. Try it for sure. Well, thank you. And you have a very good show. Let us know how it goes. Have a great weekend, everybody. Yes, you too. Thanks. Have a great day, everyone, says Kim. All right. Well, again, I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Friday nights. But we will have them tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern for 5 hours. Bye, Storm. Thanks for being here. And hope you have a good Friday. If I don't see you this weekend, have a good weekend. Read good books. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.